What's up, guys? Got a few projects going on here, repurposing some stuff. Yeah, why not? You got stuff laying around, ain't doing nothing, put it to work, right? Here's what I got over here. I gotta harvest some honey, but it's down it's on the bayfront, and it's about 80 yards from where I park. I got my hand truck, so I just made this little custom base unit pallet. We call it a little pallet. I put some strips on it. Actually, this piece of 3/4 plywood was attached to this bench grinder, and here's all the goodies on it. Here's what I used to use, guys, right here. Well, this thing's deadly right here. What this is, believe it or not, is 2 brass wheels. Well, those things, the needles on that are sharp as heck. This is double stacked, believe it or not. It doesn't look like it, but it's squeezed down. This is 2 brass wire wheels that I put together to put on this. I think this is 1 horse. It's heavy. I mean, this Delta thing is heavy duty. It's got a light on it, which I'll disconnect. I may take that off here and run a light up and down so I can look inside the extractor. This is going to be extractor motor. Mr. Martin up in Michigan, he's up there, and he has sourced on Facebook, a guy had a stainless steel 4-framer. I put deeps in it. That's all I'm running. That's all I'm running these days is deeps. Back in the day when I was running in the 80s, I was running all shallows, and I made myself a box extractor. I was running 10-frame equipment, and I was running 9 frames per box on the deeps. But I was running, for honey extraction, I was running all shallows. And the reason for that was, the reason how that little deal came about was a guy owed me a bunch of money. And I was running shallows. I started running the operation on shallows. I don't know, I got up to 250 colonies. It was a madhouse because I was running pipeline construction, and then I was a sideliner with the hives. And I told you the story before how they flooded. They let our country get flooded with China and Brazil honey, and brought our honey way down. And I got discouraged. I threw in the towel and sold out. And then, of course, once you do that, then you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs, and that compressor always kicks in when I want to talk. It never fails. It has a mind of its own. Anyway, let me shut this thing off. What's kind of cool about this operation, I got all this hose right here, right? But you'll notice when I'm in the shop, there's a quick disconnect right here. That is hooked to PVC pipe. That PVC pipe goes down, goes under the ground. It goes under the ground and clear out to I ran electric. The electric comes here, and it runs along here, and the air line is here, and the ditch tied in. I dug this out and went all the way back, so I have air. There's a landline in there, phone landline, air pipe. I ran half inch all the way out, schedule 40. It's tied into a reel that you can auto reel roll up. So I have air, I have power, everything in that building. And now I guess I got AC in there. All right. So that's set up. I can sit in there and build frames, guys. That's what this thing going to be used for. It's going to be used, that building out there is going to be used to assemble frames. We're shutting down. We're evolving. Steve-O's always evolving and different things to make life easy. Okay, so I'm using that building for frame assembly. This jig is a wire jig right here. I know this looks a little chaotic. Don't freak out now. Don't freak out on me, guys. This little jig right here, this piece of wood, has got a deal here. This is going in the back shed here shortly. I have real wire. I have nails. I have a crap load of eyelets. I have a small hammer, nails, everything. An eyelet driver. All the good stuff that I need for wiring up frames. Okay, I'm then doing some bamboo frames too. We'll still play with that. I haven't thrown that idea in the bucket yet, into the trash bin. Not yet. Okay, but anyway, yeah, I just threw this together real quick. This little piece had the plywood. I said, well, you know, I'm going to have to start harvesting honey. And the way I'm going to harvest honey, guys, is with a bee. This is going to be Steve-O, low tech, low output. We're just downsizing this whole thing. I used to run, like I said, I built an extractor and it fit 4 shallow supers, boxes, the whole box, just not individual. The whole box went in. Now, I built the reel, I built everything, the whole mechanism to drive it. It worked really slick. And I ended up stupidly selling that thing. I wish the heck I had it today. I wish I had my forklift today. I built a forklift back in the day out of a 75 Chevrolet half-ton. And you could set bees. I could set bees with that thing on top of this house, guys. I had a 15-foot high lift on it. Yeah, but who puts bees 15 foot in the air? But the capability was there, let's put it that way. Anyway, those days are over. Steve-O's getting to be very old and ancient, kinda. So we've downsized. So you know, like Eastwood says, every man must know his limitations. So we are downsizing, all right? But we're moving on. We're not stopping like most of my friends. They just stop and they sit down, they grab a cigarette and they grab a beer or some cannabis and or a bottle of whiskey and watch. I don't know what they watch. Maybe The View or something. I don't know if they're watching Whoopi or not, but I'm not going there, okay? So we'll keep busy doing little projects like this, getting in the woods. And so I just thought I'd show you real quickly today what Steve-O's up to. Now my son created this whole, I built the box myself, but he gave me to put the front end on it. He's got a CNC machine that burned out this little happy bee here. And here we have, this is going out on the front road. A very simple box. This little board with a hole in it goes on the inside of the box. Here's some little S hooks to hang. And then we got Steve's natural honey. And I got a Venmo deal going. He set up Venmo account for me. Then we have this here. See, cash or Venmo accepted, pay here, details inside box, yada yada. And here's the inside box info. And very simple setup. This is going to be mounted on a 4x4, nice comfortable height. I put a board here cantilevering a little bit, as you can see here on this box. I put just a regular padlock thing here. It's a simple system. Pull this out. This can be padlocked. You can see the inside of the box here. Cable. There's some money box. That Venmo sign will be placed. That Venmo sign will be placed here. This little, I'll have a business card holder here. It's got some peel and stick tape. Bam, that goes there. Money box. So, and there's a little padlock where that rod goes through. Very simple little system. We'll try it. I've got some health food stores also that I can supply honey to. So, like I said, this is low tech as you can get. The honey will be harvested with a bee brush, and there's only this one site. I have the rest of my sites. I can drive right upside to bite bees with my truck. I can bring my truck right there, get out of the truck, go to work. But with this hand truck thing, and I've only got 2 hives down there. I may put more as time goes on. We'll see. This whole year is experimental. Yeah, this whole year is experimental on this, but I've got some good locations. Swift Mud finally, I don't know if Swift Mud's watching these videos or not, because I've been pissing in their ear a little bit, you know, about getting access to their land. So I don't know what's going on. They keep changing personnel. I mean, every time you turn around, well, so-and-so's gone, he's gone for extended leave, yada yada. Let me sit down here on this box. These make nice little chairs too, you see. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Swift Mud, but they are trying to work with me. They sent me emails. They won't let me in. They're still hardcore, guys. Right over here, there's 6,500 right here. 6,500 acres, and I know that is a saw palmetto gallberry gold mine, because I just did not fall off the honey wagon. Okay, Steve-O's been around a while. I didn't just fall off the honey wagon. I'm telling you guys, I can make a bunch of honey over here in this spot, but they won't let me in. I could show them spots in there, they'd be perfectly fine. Absolutely fine. But anyway, they came back. There's another spot, but it's 9 miles east of me. Actually 9 miles, it's 5 miles. It's 5 miles over here to the park. But now we're talking additional 9 miles east to get on this site. They said that's available. So they said to call, it is available, I can get in. They said it is a saw palmetto, gallberry, and pine woods flat. I pulled it up on aerial. I looked at it. Of course, you don't know till you put your feet on the ground and walk it a little bit, and then you'll know. So I get a little break in the action. I'm going to drive over there and look at this thing. But I got a hunch it's in bear country. The bears are getting worse. I used to have bees in Northport. Just now I went in, had lunch with Miss Daisy, and the news was on, and they found 3 cubs. A mother was hit down there in Northport along the highway. She had 2 cubs, and then there was another cub wandering around, lost down their side the highway also, but it is not, I guess they did blood work, it is not part of these 2 twins that they picked up that were close to this mama that got nailed on the highway down there in Northport. So now they've got 3 cubs, and they got to go in with ghillie suits on to look like a tree to feed the bears. So they don't, we're spending a lot of money on these little guys. We've already got enough bears, okay? We got enough bear action. I got my ass kicked one year by bears. I lost 16 hives. They were all on pallets. I was palletized. 4 hives to the pallet. Yeah, that's back when I was running forklift, my homemade forklift. Making barrels of honey, making barrels. Those days are over, guys. But I have to keep going with this occupation, because once it gets into your blood, you never really get it out of your system. and it's a great occupation. I love it, but like I say, I'm not going big anymore, and I'm not hiring people. That's over with. I don't know. Been there, done it. I had a crew back in the day that they were kind of half partnership deal. Just a pain in the ass. You're sitting there when it's time to go. They've been drinking. You got to sober them up, get coffee in them, buy them some breakfast. You know, you've probably been there before, and I'm just right here. I'm right to here, guys. Without all that, Steve-O is a lone wolf. Okay, I am a lone wolf. I don't do any babysitting anymore. The only thing that Steve-O babysits anymore is his beehives. That's it. Only thing I do anymore is babysit bees. And so yeah, this year is kind of a new deal. Let me wipe your face off. You look a little smudgy here. Hang on. Yeah, you're looking better now. Yeah, we're just trying to make a split deal here. I want to try to sell some bees, and of course try to make a little liquid gold. Okay, and I've got a hunch. I've got some experimental hives out. I know the hives on the waterfront are going to be jammed up for making three crops. Saw palmetto. I mean, yeah, not saw palmetto. Cabbage palm, mangrove, black mangrove, and Brazilian pepper. That on the water, I think, is all good. How much of each, who knows? It's always a roll of the dice. You never know. You can have up and down, good years, bad years, whatever. Hurricane comes in like anything else. Just talking to a friend, he's from Jamaica. His mom's still in Jamaica, and last storm we just had, and their main thing down there was bananas. They're flat. This last storm down there just flattened the place. The one that came through hit Cuba, Jamaica, those islands down there, and but hopefully, he said his mom's fine down there. Apparently they got shelter, but I said, what do you do? I said, you got, wipes out your banana plantation. What do you do for income? Well, I said, what do you, just eat fish, cats, dogs, and rats? He just smiled. He said, pretty much. What else you gonna do? Pretty much. So, prayers go out to his family down there in Jamaica, but same scenario here. You don't know in Florida where you're gonna get knocked out. Now, when Brazilian pepper pops in September 15th. September 15th is the start of pepper crop. Well, right there, you are in the peak time for hurricanes in Florida. And it's not over till November 30. So you got a long span in there. Yeah, so this last hurricane that came around the horn, went through, kicked the crap out of Texas and went up through. There's still got people, thousands of people out of power yet. And this heat, guys, woo, that's brutal. That is brutal. Even if you have a Generac, okay, you gotta get there somewhere to get fuel for your Generac. Now, if you can't get that, you're just in the same boat as everybody, okay? So, knock on wood. Let's hope we don't get nothing. I'm just gonna be a small-time guy. I may make a run up to 20 to 30 colonies, and that's it. I've got of this chair I'm sitting on, these 8-frame beefy beehives. I get up 20 to 30 of those, and then 20 or 30 supers to go on them. That's going to be it. But my harvesting thing is going to be I have honey robber. You spray on a fume board and put on, chase them. But what I'll do is selectively harvest, go in, give them my little bee brush, give them a little smoke, look for some nice frames, pull out full frames of sealed honeycomb, and put them in this box and take over to my truck. And I may make up a few more of these. I got to put one more coat here. I've got the bucket here. I put 2 coats on the bottom here. I did take and put Bondtite 3 on all these wood pieces, and then I shot it in with a staple gun with my Harbor Freight stapler to hold it, and then I put screws, 1.25 inch screws, and I countersunk them just a little bit with my gun will actually countersink these for you. And these strips here were glued and screwed, but to get some longevity, this is going to take a beating because I'm using that hand truck right there to roll down the hill. And actually it's a slight hill. I got to go down to the waterfront and harvest bees, harvest honey, bees, whatever. Yeah, I've already harvested 1 frame out of each of those colonies down there because they were fattening up really nice. And I've got 6 out back. I've got 6 nukes cooking. I got 5 2-framers cooking on the 8-7. An 8-7, we can peek into them, see if we got queens. And I've also got an A-frame beefy back there. It's got a laying queen in it, and I'm full feeding all the bees here. That's a nice thing too. I'm just going to use basically this yard, my base camp, as a queen making farm here. All the other bees will be out on site unless we get a storm. I told all these homeowners that I have bees on the waterfront. I said, and they're working with me. I mean, these people are great, guys. These locations I have, these people are great. They know, these people, some people get it. I mean, most people don't get it today. It's amazing. I think every 3rd bite of food they say, the bees had something to do with it. And a lot of people are starting to understand that beekeepers are struggling. The honeybees are struggling. And if you're a beekeeper and you don't know how to keep bees alive, you won't make it. You won't make it. But hopefully with some of my little tidbits that I throw out there, you will get it figured out and you will start raising bees and keeping them alive. And that's our goal here. Yeah, I'm not here to show you big honey production deals like you got the Bob Denny's and all these others out there that are, you know, bringing in. They got huge crews, huge headaches. You got all these different. I mean, it's a lot of logistics goes into that. Trucking bees, this and that. But with my little operation, I'm going to keep it as simple and easy as pie. I do not want a big headache. And so that's the way we're going to run our little operation. This keeps me out of trouble, guys. Because you know, if Steve-O has got nothing to do, yeah, he's going to get in trouble. Yeah, Miss Daisy, she hates the bee business. She absolutely hates it. I mean, she loves it when there's money coming in, but I tell you, she does not like this business. Never liked it before when I was really at it full bore because I was never home. I was never home. I was on the road. If I wasn't on the road, I was home extracting honey, working up to late hours at night, getting up. I still get up, guys, at 4 a.m. Still, every day. Sometimes 3:30, I'm up. And yeah, I go to lights out at 9, up at 3:30, 4 a.m. But these days, see how I get away. I take her to breakfast down to the diner a lot. And then I'll come back, and then I go to the gym, and then and this and that, and then I start in with bee projects. But if I got to harvest honey, in this heat, it's 100, running 110 today, heat index today, guys. So do this whole process here. If you're in Florida, like me, or wherever you're at on the planet that is hot, you really need to work sensibly, because this heat will. And there's many beekeepers have died. We've seen many beekeepers just, especially the more you get into this, and the more visions of grandeur you get. You know, well, I know how much I made this year. Oh, just think about what I could do next year if I had this amount of hives. Oh yeah, I love those big thinkers and those big dreamers. Been there and done it. Yeah, those headaches are over for me. Trying to fool with a crew. I don't know how Bob Benny he's got a huge warehouse. He's a honey packer. He's even buying semi-loads of honey and then rebottling, and the whole deal there. He's getting up there in age though. He's a lot younger than me. I don't know by how much, but wow, I wouldn't want that. But God bless him, and I hope his health holds up, because speaking of health, we just laid to rest old Big Jim. You've heard me talk about old Big Jim. I worked with him for years. Super good guy. Him and I used to, we had a lot of heated conversations, because he was a Democrat, see, a Democrat. And I said, how'd you ever become a Democrat? Well, I was raised by my grandma. I said, really? Yeah, raised by my grandma. And she was a Democrat, and she told me at a very young age, you do not ever vote for Republican. They will ruin your jobs. They will do this. They will do that. I told Big Jim years ago, and he used to get so mad at me. I said, times have changed, Jim. No. He said, no. Grandma told me, and we're going to stay as a Democrat for the rest of my life. I said, if you looked around to see what the shenanigans they're pulling, really, Jim? I said, Jim, you're smarter than this. No, you Republicans are just too tricky, he said. You're just too full of it. I said, well, you just keep going with the way you're going, Jim. That's all I know. But I'm telling you right now that this is not the same Democrats back in the day when your granny was around. They were for the working man. Are they today? And he got to thinking. He's thinking, and I said, no, they are not. And I'd get him mad, guys. I'd get him so mad he's ready to choke me out. And this was a big man. He could grab you by the throat and pop your head like it was a pimple. I mean, this guy was one strong man. Back in the day, when you looked at him, all you could think of was the old black man, the John Henry, the steel driving man. When you seen Jim, that's what you could think of. Okay, that was Jim back in the day. But he intimidated a lot of people, but he never intimidated me, because he only had one eye. And I said, Jim, how'd you lose that eye? Well, he was 14, I think he said. He was messing with this little girl it was in school or church, I forget the story. But he was messing with this little girl, and she didn't want nothing to do with him. And he kept on, you know. I'm sure back in the, at 14 years old, the testosterone's pretty good, running pretty good, you know. And he kept fooling with this little girl, and she ran out of the building, and then he came out a little bit. I guess there was some construction material laying around. There's a board with a nail in it. He came out of there, and she was hiding around the corner with that board, and she center punched him right in the head with that thing, and it took out his right eye. That was his dominant eye, and that nail went right in and tore out that right eye. I said, good Lord. He said, yeah, that little girl messed me up. And I said, well, you were probably pretty horny back then. He said, Oh yeah, I still am horny. And this guy lived at 93, guys. And he wanted to work so bad. He was a manhole builder. Back in the day when I met him in the 70s, he was working in the ditch. He was a manhole builder. Back then everything was built out of red bricks. Well, when I hired on in the 70s, it was going gangbusters. I mean, Clearwater everywhere around here was just gangbusters. And I went to work for this pretty large construction company. And the owner of the company came out, and I was on a little job site as a grunt. We had some topsoil. We were trying to sell topsoil, bagging it up and this and that. And he come rolling up in there, and he rolled the window down. He said, "Hey, I was talking to your buddy there, and he said that you used to work in a gas station." I said, "Yes, sir." "Yep. Worked in a gas station and turned some wrenches." "What did all you do?" I said, "Well, I did tune-ups, I did brakes, I did, this or whatever, tire buster." He said, "I got a gas station on wheels." I said, "Really?" "Yeah, and I need a man to run that. And I got a guy, the mechanic that's running. I got to get him back to mechanicing, but I want to throw you in with him, and he can train you. Have you ever been around heavy equipment?" I said, "No, sir, this is my first adventure with that." I said, "I've been around Michigan, plenty of Michigan farms, baling hay and this and that, so I've been around tractors." He said, "Great. I think you're going to fit in just perfect." So anyway, he threw me onto this truck with a mechanic, and him and I rode 70. We serviced 78 pieces, guy, of heavy equipment, bulldozer, backhoes, you name it, from all the way up to Arapica, all the way down across the Skyway Bridge south of that. Every day. I was working 6 days a week, 10, 12, sometimes 16 hours, just humping it. I played that gig for 3 years, guys. So I got to meet everybody, and I went on the job site, and everybody'd come running over. And of course they had 5-gallon cans. It was mostly diesel fuel on the rig. I think I hauled 950 gallon at the time, and then we bought 2 more trucks. They were 1,200 gallons each, and I got one of those big trucks. And here these guys would come with their gasoline cans. Well, you knew darn well what they were going to do with the gasoline. They're going to put it in their personal vehicles or on site. And I'd go over to the foreman. I said, "Who are you working for? You need gasoline. Who are you working for?" "I'm working for this foreman right here." "Okay." I'd go over to the foreman. I said, "You got your grunts here wanting, well, that gas there, yada yada." He would stick up for him and try to get that free gas for him, right? To hell with the company, just give them free gas, right? So I said, I'm gonna get my ass in a crack here if I'm handing out gasoline to all these people. So he said, "Well, I need gas for my cement mixer and this compactor and yada yada, and my target saws so I can cut pipe and yada yada." So, okay, so anyway, make a long story short, well, I'm really stretching this story out, but here comes this great big black guy out of the hole. I never seen him before, and he come out of that ditch, and he had like a 4 or 5 man crew. And like I say, they made all these manholes back in the day, and storm structures with bricks. And he came up there, and he only had that one eye. He said, "Hey boy, I've been watching you." I said, "Really?" "Yeah." He tried to intimidate me a little bit. I said, "Well, what you need, buddy?" I don't want to be slowed down here." I said, "Okay, what do you need?" "I need gasoline for my cement mixer." I said, "Okay." And he says, so I fixed him up. And he introduced himself, I introduced myself, and big rugged guy. And I says, I can see that you've been, I'd watch him sometimes, he'd look over, keep looking over at me, and I said, I've been seeing that you've been keeping an eye on me. He's just looking at me real stern, and then I just closed my right eye like that, because his right eye was out, and I just closed my right eye like this, and I said, I see that you've had an eye on me. And I just did it, guys, just a stern, you know, like this, like just a sincere. And he just busted out laughing, guys. He just started, I got that guy laughing. And he said, buddy, you're something else. He said, you're something else. And I said, listen, Jim, I'm just here to help, buddy. I'm not here to piss you off. And he just started laughing. He shook my hand. I said, I'll give you all the gas you need, buddy. I need some for my truck too, he says. I said, all right, I don't know if that's legal or not, but I'll fix you up. I'll take care of you, buddy. So we did that for the longest time. Him and I got to be great buds, and then over the years I got to become a pipeline foreman, and I ran pipeline crews, and of course by doing that I was definitely close to Big Jim then. And I would give him the red carpet service, whatever he needed. He needed brick, sand, cement, whatever, a hole pumped out, backfilling, whatever he needed. I gave him everything he wanted, and him and I just worked as a great team. So anyway, we planted Big Jim Saturday. Huge. I don't know if you guys ever been to a black funeral. That is quite something. I've been to a few, and that is quite something. It's like a revival. I mean, it's the people singing and carrying on, and it's quite a show. But anyway, they had old Big Jim laid out in that coffin there, and they did quite a nice taxidermy job on him there. He had a little sports cap on, and he was looking good in that box. He had a nice looking coffin there, and we gave him the big send off. But yeah, he'll be missed. That old boy will be missed, because he was a lot of fun. But he was 93, and he suffered, oh my Lord, he suffered for years with this diabetes. And that's what I keep talking to you guys about. I mean, I told Big Jim years ago, I said, our government wants you, they want you fat and sick. He said, well, I am there, buddy. I said, well, try to change it up. Try to change it up. And stop listening to these corrupt fools. I just have to do what they say, he said. Got a storm fixing to roll in here. Hope I don't get lightning struck. I hope Jim doesn't, me talking about Jim, he doesn't throw a lightning bolt down on me or something here. Yeah, so anyway, hope I don't run out of battery here on this thing. It's getting down a little bit, but I'm just showing you some of the stuff I'm doing here. I've got to take that wire framing jig out back. I've got my AC unit in that little grafting shack back here. I'm not grafting anymore. I've taken the incubator off the bench. It's stuffed underneath. You guys watching my videos, you know, anybody who wants to play with grafting and needs an incubator, hit me up. I'm gonna let that incubator go for $50. I've got probably $125, $150 in that thing. The box alone cost me, I think, $50. And it works perfectly. Keeps the temperature perfectly at 93. It's a small unit. You can burn out, at least, you put 3 bars in there, 15 per bar grafts. But I'm done, I'm over that. So that's gonna shut that down. That's frees up the bench more. And we're gonna do, right now I'm fixing to go out and do some waxing frames. So there'll be a waxing operation, cleaning operation on frames. I've been cleaning frames in here with an air hose and this and that. But that operation is going to be out there. Maybe I'll do another video on wiring frames, and I'll show you my little wiring jig. That'll be on another video. I'm stretching this one out as it is. And now we got thunder and lightning and fixing to hit this place. So let me wrap it up for now, and I will see you guys soon. And hopefully we'll get down on the water. I want to go down on the water Thursday and poke around and see if I can't harvest some honey. And I got two buckets, scrape and drain buckets right there, hanging, poised, and ready to rock and roll. They just have to be taken in, washed up, sanitized, dried out, and get ready to do scrape and drain and bottle. I've got, I don't know, 100 plus bottles to fill, but we've got to put the honey in the bucket first, right? So once we get a crop up, I want to pilfer a little bit of crop off, and it's going to be cabbage, palm, and mangrove, what I've got on these hives right now. And I pulled a couple out. I didn't taste the honey. It was really light looking honey. I mean, really light. I don't know how light mangrove honey is, but this is a combo deal down there, and the honey was really light. It didn't look too thin. I poked into the capped honey and it looked pretty thick. So, but cabbage palm honey is a high moisture honey, and I don't have really too many ways of drying it. I mean, there are ways. I've seen all kinds of crazy scenarios out there, but just consume it faster is all I can tell my customers, because it is a high moisture honey. I bought a refractor this year so I can see my moisture percentage in that honey, and you want to be, you know, 16 plus, or I mean 16 or lower on your moisture, so you don't get fermentation. I always sold my honey in barrels. I didn't do any retailing. This whole operation now is going to be set up as a retailing operation, but we've downsized, and so that's how it's going to roll. All right, guys, I will see you on the next one. Be happy, be strong, and let's keep getting it on. And thank God every day that you're above ground. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.